You ever notice how sometimes the whole world can seem to move on, except for you? That's where I was, Thomas Becket, standing in a rain-soaked memorial garden, clutching flowers for a wife I thought I'd lost for good, until a voicey kid's voice, piercing and matter-of-fact, cut through the gloom and pretty much flipped my life upside down. Your wife is still alive. I turned, and there she was, a little black girl, hoodie clinging to her frame, maybe 10 years old, eyes way too serious for her age. That was my first clue this day, was about to get weird, you know what I mean? At first, I thought she was confused, maybe mistaking me for someone else. I tried to brush it off. Elena drowned. Everyone said so. The Coast Guard, the press, even my own people. But the kid, Maya, didn't blink. She told me she'd seen Elena dragged out of the water scared, bleeding, yelling my name. That detail about her scar, the short platinum hair, the necklace, those were things no one could have known except Elena or someone who'd actually been there. My heart stopped when she handed me Elena's old handkerchief, soaked and fraying, with her name sewn in gold. Right then, a whole year of numbness cracked open. Was it hope? Fear? Maybe both. They tried to shuffle me off, my assistants and all, but I ignored them. I just kept looking at this kid who claimed she'd watched my wife get thrown in a van by a man with a fake arm. White guy, gray beard, barking orders. He moved like he was still in the army, she said. Let me back up. A SECME company once worked on prosthetics for veterans, and the prototype was never supposed to leave the lab. Yet here was a detail only an insider would know. Maya told me she tried to go to the cops, but no one listened. I believed her, though I could hardly admit it out loud. I told my guy to get the car. You coming? I asked her. She hesitated, who wouldn't, with a stranger, but climbed in anyway. And as we drove off, I caught a guy in a gray raincoat watching us, whispering into an earpiece. They've made contact, he said. So, yeah, I wasn't just chasing ghosts anymore. We drove through the city, rain blurring the lights, my head pounding with possibilities I didn't want to consider. Maya pointed out the exact spot behind the old cannery at Pier 14 where she saw Elena last. She described the fake arm in detail, a weird clicking sound, all white and plastic. I started to realize this wasn't just some wild story. It was my life unraveling, or maybe finally coming together. That night, I called in favors I'd sworn I'd never call again. Surveillance teams swept the cannery and 5 blocks around. Look for containment, medics, military types, anything with an artificial arm, I told my old friend Ree. I brought Maya to my house, a place she'd never imagined, big, safe, with food and warmth she hadn't had in a while. Over grilled cheese and tomato soup, she finally relaxed. I promised her if what she knew helped bring Elena home, she'd never have to sleep under a pier again. She told me every detail, the van, the men, the tiny box. She found something electronic, probably evidence. That night, as Maya slept, recalled, we got unregistered vehicles at the cannery. One guard matches your guy. I didn't sleep. Instead, I combed through years of security footage, blueprints, anything I could get my hands on. Maya's words brought old shadows into sharp focus. Next morning, Maya and I headed to the cannery with Ree. The place looked abandoned, broken windows, rusted metal, but inside, Ree had found something. A room that smelled of bleach and metal, a cot with restraints, a blood-stained navy scarf, and, scratched into the wall, E.B. Elena Becket. She'd been there. Not just a ghost, left a message. We regrouped, adrenaline wearing thin, but determination hardening. I started to see Maya not just as a witness, but as my ally. She wasn't scared of these men, she was invisible to them, which made her the perfect spy. Why did you wait a year to come to me? I asked. Didn't know who you were. Saw your picture at the library and just knew. That's the kind of serendipity you can't make up. We put Maya in my house, trained her, kept her safe. If anything happened, she'd run and call for help. The network we were up against was deep, global, and ruthless. Elena hadn't just been my wife. She'd been building a case against men running human trafficking through shell companies, Ashmont Holdings, among others. That's why they wanted her silenced. Not because of me, because she was about to expose the rot at the heart of our city. The break-in of my house happened late one night. Someone with a passcode, someone close. Maya's instinct was to stand her ground, and mine was to dig deeper. I started tying threads together, reaching out to old friend and harbor patrol, following every tip. We uncovered a distress beacon supposedly scrubbed by Homeland Security, but logged the night Elena disappeared. Everything pointed to a cover-up way bigger than I'd imagined. The closer we got, the more dangerous things became. We tracked the network to a depot on the coast of Silent, corrugated warehouse with plainclothes guards standing like soldiers. Maya, in her hoodie, snuck through a vent with us. Inside, we found Elena, alive but barely, tied to a chair. The man with the artificial arm tried to stop us, gun drawn, but Maya distracted him long enough for Ree to take him down. She didn't freeze, she faced him, flashlight raised, voice steady. "Then why are you scared of me?" I still get chills thinking about it. Getting Elena out was only the beginning. She whispered, "Not all of them gone Ashmont, others watching." The deeper we dug into Elena's files, the bigger the network got. We hit outposts in Louisiana, Miami, even Iceland, hacking servers, freeing victims including a journalist named Leora who'd been missing for a year. We took evidence global. On live TV, Leora called out names, and the world started to wake up. They came for us at the Estatia coordinated assault. We fought back with every trick, every ally, every ounce of willpower. Maya, who'd been marked since she was a kid, stood tall, refusing to run. In the chaos, we broadcast the final files, every dirty secret, every transfer, every face. No one could hide anymore. Congress called us to testify. Elena spoke her truth. I laid out the facts. But it was Maya who stopped the room cold. "I was tired of being invisible," she said. Those words sparked something. Hashtags exploded. Investigations launched worldwide. But Hale, the architect behind it all, wasn't gone. He just changed tactics, operating from the shadows. We tracked him to Iceland, confronted him in a frost-covered bunker, and after a brutal ambush walked away with everything we needed to dismantle his empire. Today, Maya speaks to crowds around the world. She's not just the girl in the hoodie-ish, the reason people believe they can matter, no matter how small they feel. Our home bears scars, burnt walls, shattered glass, but the flag still flies. Justice is messy, slow, and never clean, but sometimes, just sometimes, it wears the face of a kid who refused to be quiet. So let me ask you, when the world tries to silence the truth, what would you do? Would you fight? Would you speak up, even when no one wants to listen? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about what justice means to you, because if this story proves anything, it's that sometimes the most powerful voices come from the most unexpected places.